Okay, you should have watched the Khan Academy video before watching this one. And I'm going to just add some things on to what he was saying. So make sure you watch that first before you watch this one, okay? So we're talking about equivalent fractions, fractions that are equal to each other. And today we're going to be focusing on 1/2, that benchmark fraction of 1/2, okay? And let's say these were the pizzas he just had on his video. We've got 1/2 of the pizza here. This one, this whole pizza is divided differently. It's divided into 4 parts, so we can call this 2/4 of the pizza. And this one is divided into 8 equal parts, so we'll call this 1/8, and this is 4/8 of the pizza, okay, that is shaded. And we know that these are all equivalent. And there's some things I want you to notice, and essential question I want you to ask every time. One, when we're talking about half, the idea of half, hopefully you can see that, and you caught on when he was talking about that, and you understood what he was saying. But I also want you to look at just the symbols we use, just the fractions here, without the models, right? 1 is half of 2. 2 is half of 4. 4 is half of 8. Okay, you need to notice that. I should be able to write, let's say, 11. Okay, what would be the denominator for 11 if I wanted it to be equivalent to 1/2? Okay, it would be 22, because 11 is half of 22. That idea of halving numbers again is super important. Like, let's say my denominator were 20 and I want an equivalent fraction to 1/2. What does my numerator have to be? Well, what's half of 20? Oh, it's 10. 10 is half of 20. Again, 1 is half of 2. 2 is half of 4. 4 is half of 8. Okay. Now then, I'm going to pause the video because I forgot my eraser. I can't find the pause button. Here we go. Okay. Let me share the screen again. Something else I want you to notice and think back when we did input and output tables. I made a little chart down here, and I'm just going to take these fractions and put them into the chart. There's 1/2, there's 2/4, and here's 4/8. Okay. And remember when we talked about input and output tables, sometimes they're called input output tables or relationship tables or function tables, okay? But it's all dealing with the relationship between your numbers that you see here, okay? How are we getting from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 4? And how are we getting from 2 to 4 down here and 4 to 8 down here, okay? And if I can figure that out, can't I figure out the next fraction that would be equivalent to 1/2? Because all of these are equal to 1/2, and 2/4 is equal to 4/8. They're all representing the same amount. They look different in their symbols, but we know that they're all representing the same amount. So how am I going to get from 1 to 2? Well, 1 plus 1 is 2. So if I did plus 1, but is 2 plus 1 4? No. So how else can I go from 1 to 2? Well, I know that 1 times 2 is 2. Let's try 2 times 2. Oh, that's 4. And what about getting from 2 to 4? What's 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So by that token, with that logic, we can easily find out what is the next equivalent fraction going to be. Oh, what's 4 times 2? 8. What's 8 times 2? 16. And we could even draw the model to go with it, right? Because we had start with half, then split my halves into equal halves, equal fourths, and then split my fourths into eighths. So halves to fourths, fourths to eighths. That's where we are now. And then eighths to sixteenths. I'll take each eighth and divide it into 2 equal parts, and that gives me sixteenths. And if I want half of that, I have to shade in 8 of those quickly. I'm just going to shade it in like that. Okay. And could you keep going? Yeah, you can. Okay. So that is something to keep in mind, not just the models and the fractions, but moving to, oh, when I look at these symbols, I can see this relationship. I can see how that's going. Okay. And I've got one more thing to tell you. Okay. I had to pause the screen for a second. I'm going to share again. Okay. Now, we started with circle models. We can also do this with bar models and number lines, okay? So you can see here that we've got 1/2. And I told you there's an essential question. This is it. What else could this be? What else can I see here? Even though it's not drawn for me, is there something else I can see from this? Okay, so I'm going to use the pink color. Well, I don't know if it's going to show up, but we'll make it work. Let's say in my mind, I could also see it like this. Now, doesn't that change everything for you? Okay, not really change everything, but you can see, oh, that's also 4 equal parts and 2 of the equal parts. Oh, yeah, that's 2/4. What else? Is there something else maybe we can see that is the same as, that's equivalent to? It's also equivalent to, what do we have? What are we going to have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of those are shaded. Okay. So today you might be given just the 1/2, but I'm going to ask you maybe your problem's going to look like this, and you have to fill in that numerator. Okay. 1/2 is the same as how many fourths? Oh, 2 out of 4. Okay. Or I could put that model and have 4, and you'd have to put that denominator. Well, 4 what? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8, 4/8. Okay. And the same thing with the number line. Okay. I did not do a good job of getting in the middle. Let's say I'm perfectly in the middle, and that, which I'm not, but this is 1/2. Okay. Y'all know that by now. And I want to know, well, what else could be equivalent to half? What else do I see here? Okay. I know this is half, but it could also be, again, it could also be, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths, and 1, 2/4 again. You have to be able to see it on the different models. I could even go again, and it doesn't matter what side of the equal. Equal means balanced. Okay, so they're all the same. So I could put my next one over here. Okay, I'm going to take this, and I can also see, oh, now I'm still in the same spot. It's still halfway. It's still 2/4, but it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still eighths. And how many, where are we on the number line? We're at 4/8. Okay. So expect to see different models, and expect to see something like this. Like, let's say number 1 is 1/2 is the same as how many eighths, and you have to fill in this numerator. Okay. All right. So good luck. Work hard on those. Show your work. Very important. Always show your work. Show your thinking on paper. In case there's a mistake, we're all human and we make mistakes, right? So if you have somebody there to help you, they can see where you made your mistake. They can't crawl inside your mind and see your mistake, but they can see it if you show your work on the paper. So do that for us, okay? Big help for you and the people who are there to try to help you. And if you need me, text, okay? Or send me a message on here. Texting's faster and easier, I'll tell you that. Okay. All right. Thank you, and y'all have a good day.